When I was 15 years old, 3 years before having even a faint idea of the Islamic religion, I wrote what I believe was my first poem. I know there is a God when I have seen the murmured kisses of the wind enthrall and move to ecstasy a blade of grass. And when the sun begirdles clouds serene with silken tresses that resplendent fall to earth, then God has let it come to pass. "52 years later, 47 of those as a Muslim, I would say a bit too fancy perhaps, but not bad for a 15-year-old. My interest today is where that came from and how God let it come to pass. In other words, I want to talk about Islamic psychology and whether the term psychology is even relevant to Islam. Psyche is the Greek term for the human mind or soul. From it we now have the English psychology. In the Wikipedia entry for psyche, we can read the following. The basic meaning of the Greek word psyche was life. Although unsupported, some have claimed it is derived from the verb psycho, to blow. Derived meanings included spirit, soul, ghost, and ultimately self in the sense of conscious personality or psyche. The closest equivalent to the original Greek meaning in the Qur'an is ruh, which we normally translate as spirit. The meaning of psycho as blowing also corresponds to the Qur'an's association of ruh with something that Allah blows into the human being to give him or her life. I think, consequently, that Islamic psychology should start not with Western terms such as ego, superego, and id, which I intend to mention in the next video, but with the psyche of the Qur'an, namely the Spirit of God, or Spirit from God, blown first into Adam and then into all his descendants. That means all of us, not just Muslims. You, the viewer of this video, have a ruh. It is literally your life. That is why I started out by referring to my first poem with its description of that murmuring wind. According to Orthodox Islamic faith, my 15-year-old self had received that breath of spirit, whether I recognized it as such or not. I then expressed it in verse without knowing or claiming to know what it was or where it came from. God allowed me to make him the starting point on my voyage of self-discovery. There is something in us that predates our conscious acceptance of any religion or psychology. The Qur'an refers to that as spirit. How can Muslims make spirit the foundation stone of their psychology? How does that square with the modern division of our mental life into conscious, preconscious, and unconscious layers? And how do the theories of the founding giants of classical Western psychology, Freud and Jung, compare to this transcendent spirit, this ruh? I hope to deal with all that in coming episodes, God willing.